Yeah, I got some small talk for RunA. Let's get into this, but ladies and gentlemen, this is for the EMS ESL Team League, and we've got Complexity versus Property, and I can't say Team League apparently, but spawning here in the lower right corner of the map, spawning pink playing Protoss for Property, it is RunA. You can find him here on Twitter if you want to keep up with him. Those two letters at the end are uppercase I's, just for the record.
And his opponent, spawning up in the top left-hand corner of Belshir Vestige. It is the purple Terran player, hailing from Complexity, coL's QXC. Follow him on Twitter, coL QXC.
You know, RunA's had a really great run the past couple days with the WCS EU qualifiers. I got to cast a couple of his matches, and this guy, he's got some good PvT Panda.
Yeah, he does. He's a very solid PvT player, and this is a pretty decent map for Protoss. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to grab your third base. This is becoming kind of a routine occurrence in a lot of the maps in the pool right now. In addition to the fact that with the new improved Medevac 2.0, drops are just very, very potent.
Well, we do also have to consider, I imagine QXC probably has a pretty good internet connection and won't have that much lag to deal with, but this is being played in the European server, so the quote-unquote home field advantage does go to RunA.
Yeah, most certainly.
Now QXC, I'm curious because I haven't actually, I know he streams quite frequently, I haven't personally been watching him of late. I'm curious to see whether he'll abuse Widow Mines in this particular matchup like a lot of people have been. I mean, Protoss players in general have a lot of trouble dealing with Widow Mines early on because I feel detection for Protoss is the most pain in the butt thing to get on the field.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of that is due to the past 2 weeks or so, since MLG, we've had this like Stargate Oracle, Stargate opening into Oracle, whether it's proxied or whether you just expand behind it, whether you use it for a one base all in, followed by 3 or 4 gates that MC showed us. And you're like, well, Oracles they have detection, but utility-wise, not nearly as useful as an observer. But now we're starting to see this expansion Mothership Core into Robo 3-gate that is so freaking common in Wings of Liberty.
I love the use of the Mothership Core. The Photon Overcharge is so great, not only deterring drops, but actually taking a head-on fight if necessary.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think... Did you catch the match with Froz and Kiljardy for the WCS?
No.
Oh man, it was Aklon ways. We had a force field at the top of the ramp. 10 or 15
you
Marines.
Frost for WCS? Oh my god, I'm jelly. Was that
yesterday
or the day before?
Yesterday, but hang on, or the day before, but Engineering Bay block coming down. Interesting choice out of QXC. But yeah, it was the most devastating PvT moment I've seen in my life, man, because he had about 1 Marauder and I'd say about 10, 15 Marines on the ramp, force field at the top, force field at the bottom, overcharge on the Nexus. It was, oh my god, a slaughter, to say the least.
Yeah, that's Mothership Charge is really good. But this Engineering Bay block is actually really good too, because the Stalker, despite the fact that the Mothership Core is out,
but it's not
they only both really tickle Engineering Bay.
But it's not delaying it by that much, because we only just now have the resources coming from our Protoss player to build. So, I mean, a classy choice out of QXC to do something a little, I guess, harassy if you want to describe it as that, but in the end, not too effective.
This is due to the fact that he did opt to get the robotics facility a little bit sooner instead of going for that Nexus timing. So it was delayed by like, I don't know, a good 20 seconds or so. Every little bit helps, but we'll see if it actually ends up being a major factor in the game.
Well, we got a lot of barracks coming down into QXC, gonna get his production up quick, and I feel like, you know, as long as the Terran player can get his infrastructure up, unless you cause economic damage, you're gonna have a really difficult time dealing with it. Because as you mentioned before, Medevac speed boost makes drops so much more potent than it used to.
Yeah.
I mean, long gone are the days where you've got 3 Stalkers ready to take that drop. You need more like 5 or 6 now to deal with it effectively, because they're just gonna vroom right over top of it. I gotta say though, I miss. Oh, I don't even remember it anymore. I was about to say, was it the? Because right now it's Ignite Afterburners, right? But before, wasn't it like Emergency Thrusters or something like that? Like it was such a better
Emergency
name.
Afterburners.
Emergency Afterburners or something, yeah. Either way,
Emergency
it was better.
And Ignite Afterburners. Yeah, Emergency Thrusters was the name.
Yeah, it was so, I feel, it fit the role better. Not that names really play a big point in the game, like, oh my god, balance the names, Blizzard, please, but QXC actually going to come out here. Will he see the Observer? There's a lot of Terran players who, just for some reason, are so good at spotting Observers, Panda, like, it feels like they're not even cloaked sometimes.
Yeah. And it's really funny watching a Terran player that like really is on top of observer spotting. The STC actually previously just played in the last series.
This push is actually going to be cool. I don't know. It's
QXC
actually
does see it as
questionable.
well.
I mean, like, there's an
Yeah,
Immortal
it is.
coming, but the Immortal, there's only one Marauder in this force. If you can clean up the sentries quick enough and get the Stalkers, that Immortal will fall to the Marines.
The high ground advantage is the only thing preventing RunA from engaging this, but he wants to engage on the ramp. He doesn't want QXC to have this on his terms.
Meanwhile, with this pylon place here at the third, we might see some backwards warp ins come in and maybe catch QXC off guard with his army out the map. I mean, there is a supply depot, or sorry, a bunker down. 2 more coming, actually, but QXC going to be forced to play on the defensive, and wow, I didn't know a Stalker kill could cause that much carnage for a poor Marine.
This is actually, it's interesting to see him pressuring off of 3 gateways right now. He's actually going for a forge behind this and continuing to chrono boost next eye, so I mean, this is not really all that committed, but...
Well, the thing is, with the force fields and the Immortal, he can actually bust these bunkers pretty effectively.
He does not have a second Immortal, though, and there already are SCVs to repair in front, mind you, so that will definitely detract from RunA's option to...
Will it buy enough time, though? Because, I mean, this is...
I want to go for it, man.
I mean, we're going to see, the SCVs immediately force fielded off, being pulled from behind, and RunA, with just a couple force fields, completely stopping the mining here at the natural.
Yeah. 2 Widow Mines are actually down.
The Widow Mines are actually going to be
those
huge for this because, of course, the Widow Mine damage is like a spell attack, so it ignores the hardened shield effect of the Immortals. And if he can get the right connects to the right units, he could just take this fight.
If the Immortals get in range, I like the fact that this is just turned into a contain. He's forcing his opponent to pull SCVs for X amount of time. And QXC, through some... I don't know if he's nervous or not, he's just now saturating his 3rd gas. That should have been done much earlier. Like around 2 minutes or so,
Well, we have RoboFollow coming out of RunA, and if there's one thing you want to do, it's like, oh, hey, my Terran opponent's on 2 bases with mostly Marines, I'm definitely going to get some Colossus on the field.
Yeah. A second observer is now checking the production out of QXC. Should confirm that there's only 1 engineering bay up and no 3rd command center, and that's a pretty big scout. That's like a key thing you really want to know going forward in a PvT from a Protoss perspective.
Yeah, I mean, QXC, you can play off 2 base for a little while as a Terran player, but once that Protoss army starts to sort of build up and not necessarily snowball, but become bigger in mass, it gets harder and harder to crack. And QXC,
the probe actually scouted this drop. And there come the afterburners.
Oh, does decide to move away, sees the units there. And I think there's only 1 observer across the field currently, so there's actually no detection at home. This drop could be quite big, but meanwhile pushing at the natural, Mothership Core getting focused down, will go down right away, so will these Immortals. And by picking these units off, you can back off and come back in for another day, but QXC not actually
picking up. There's no cannon, there's no detection down here at all. The probes aren't full. All 3 Widow Mines burrow.
Every probe's about to die, Panda. How many workers just got killed? 14! Beautifully done, getting the Immortals and distracting enough for that drop. This will deny any sort of mining here at the main for a long time because, yeah, he's got to wait. Colossus pop, now he's going to get the Observer out to follow. This was actually really well executed by QXC.
Yeah, that hurt so much. And these Widow Mines are still in place. This is going to continue to deny mining.
They should get another hit off before the Observer's out.
Yeah, damn.
Oh, how sick would that be if he scanned right now and picked off that Observer? Oh, does get this soccer though, so not a bad consolation prize.
Yeah, definitely not. And he's going to attempt to keep them alive, splitting them up at the last second. His opponent is allowed to mine again, though.
Oh man, can you imagine if he had a 4th one there and the probe's transfer was coming back just in time? Like, oh man. But he's, you know, the thing too is QXC now confirms the Colossus. I don't know if he scouted the Robo or not. Actually, let me check.
I think it was just barely out of vision.
Oh, this is not good. Fail observing here out of Rifkin, guys. Yeah, he did actually scout it, so he knew it was on the field either way. But having seen the Colossus, knowing for a fact, concretely, like, okay, yep, it's on the field.
Yeah. Now he's actually making a go at his opponent's third base. And despite the fact that he doesn't have all that many units on the field, he does have a rather formidable army at the moment.
Yeah, and he's got Vikings as well, and he's continuing the production, having seen the Colossus out. My small... Ooh, nice hit. Will pick off that soccer. But yeah, my concern is, there's with the 1 Colossus out, will he have enough ground forces with only 2 medevacs, or 3 medevacs to take this on?
He does have the 2 Vikings, and there's very little Stalker support here.
Yeah,
a fair amount of Sentry energy, though.
Oh, look at that. Already getting the shields completely removed off that Colossus. Marauders, of course, in a worst-case scenario, can just stim in and finish it off, but these 3 Vikings should be more than enough.
And this is a great angle to
Oh,
engage
what is
here.
this Colossus doing in the middle of the field?
Dude, I just wanted to say hi.
RunA was just trying to make friends, and QXC was like,
No.
nope. I have enough friends, thanks anyways, nerd. Mothership Core almost being sniped. For the record, QXC sounds nothing like that. If there's one thing you should know about BaseTradeTV, is that Rifkin cannot do impressions of anybody.
This is getting really scary for RunA right now. Despite the fact that he's at a worker disadvantage, he's also at an army disadvantage. And he's at 1 Colossus against 4 Vikings, 2 more on the way.
I like this though, he's
across
fun.
the map.
He does have the Stalkers forward now, going to try and protect this Colossus at all means, because I mean, if this Colossus goes down, that's going to be the cue for QXC to just push in. And with this many Marauders on the field, Marauders already tear Stalkers apart, but in this many numbers, it's going to be a manslaughter. I was going to say massacre, I don't know why I said
Manslaughter, man. One thing he can do is attempt to wait out on Zelt charge, but that's still far away. I mean, it takes so long to upgrade.
Oh, the Vikings
engaging the Colossi before the Bio army does, forcing the Stalkers forward. Here comes the stim out of the Bio.
And we got a bit of posturing back and forth. Nice time work will kind of help to keep the units in place. No force fields available, sadly. Only a couple going down now at just the last second, but the Colossus does fall. And QXC picks up his forces. And that low health medevac somehow escapes. Beautifully executed. Now we have Ghost coming up as the follow-up to this. And, you know, even though he doesn't necessarily need the EMPs for like any sort of Archons or Templar, they're still great at stripping the shields off of any Protoss unit.
Yeah.
But RunA, give him credit, did protect his third through all that. So while he did lose quite a few units, quite a few expensive units, mind you, he did keep this third up and running, which is definitely something he needs to have. Now, unfortunately, I don't think it's actually rallied, as we see some idle probes around the Nexus. And that's going to be rather unfortunate.
Yeah, he needs all the probes mined that he can get right now. I mean, as this third is most likely going to fall into this follow-up push here.
Well,
I mean, there's absolutely no AoE on the field.
He
Templar
does.
Archives is still out.
He's got charge, and he's got a hell of a lot of zealots. So I mean, he might be able to take a good ground fight.
But this is such a beautiful engage from QXC. He EMPs everything and then falls back to the Brox.
Yep. Stripping everything of their shields, but the Zealot's connecting and doing a ton of damage to the Marauders.
Colossus doesn't even get a shot off.
Well, it gets one, but yeah, still basically nothing goes off. Medevac's keeping the units alive behind this, and RunA, despite having all of these Zealots on the field, absolutely annihilated. GG. Follow Complexity Ryan at coL_Reinar. But yeah, well played by QXC.